Hello everyone, welcome to Talking Reds. Good evening, and it is Saturday night, and this is the latest Liverpool news and transfer news as well. A little bit on Luis Diaz, Ibrahima Konate, and Darwin Nunez, the three players that could potentially be leaving Liverpool this summer. All up in the air at the moment with Luis Diaz reports with him and in transfer requests and reports of him possibly pushing a move to leave Liverpool this summer. Darwin Nunez, Napoli are apparently no longer interested in signing Nunez because of the basically the price tag Liverpool put on him. That is going to be going on, I think, further. I think Liverpool still want to let Nunez go at some point from what we knew before, like maybe like a few weeks ago. But big price tag on Nunez, big price tag on Luis Diaz as well. And another player is Ibrahima Konate. His contract runs out next summer, and it's Real Madrid again. Real Madrid are the team that are interested in signing Ibrahima Konate, and they will get him done for free next summer if we don't sign him down to a new contract now, or we don't sell him this summer either. So yeah, it's a going to cover other things as well, though, guys. Make sure you do in the chat. If you are watching live, make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers on Talking Reds. And yeah, regarding the three players, though, it is three situations we don't really want to be in. But Nunez and Diaz specifically, that is Liverpool putting a big price on it. And I think they are ready to be sold if someone pays up. I think that's what it is with Diaz and Nunez. We've put these price tags on them, and if someone ain't willing to pay the money, then I think they're willing to sell him. However, with Konate, it's a different story. I think we want to keep Konate. We always want to keep Konate, but we're not agreeing on that contract. That's the issue. If you see something flying around, it is a fly that's just going straight past. Wants to be on stream, doesn't it? But it is what it is. It might join in with a conversation of this tonight. But yeah, regarding Konate is a different situation to the other two, because if he is to be sold, it's because we can't tie him down to a new contract. We want to keep him. He is probably really a big part of Liverpool, as Konate. Him and Van Dijk are an absolute exceptional partnership at centre back. And going back to last season, Konate for the first 2-3 months of the season was probably our best player. It's certainly our best defender in that time. But regarding Nunez and Diaz, that is all dependent on selling, buying teams. If buying teams are willing to pay the money for both Nunez and Diaz, I think that the reports have always been Liverpool are willing to let go if you pay up, and that's always been quite consistent on those. I don't think Diaz. With Diaz, I'm not too bothered if he goes or stays, but like Jen says here, if they don't want to play for us, then they can go, and that's the issue we're having. It does seem with reports over the last couple of weeks with Diaz, it isn't seeming like he wants to stay. I'm hoping he does. It would be nice to keep Diaz. I think Diaz and Gakpo are brilliant options for that left wing, but if you can't keep a player that doesn't want to be here, it's as simple as that. James also says Nunez will go. Konate can demand what he likes. He will not be held to ransom. And again, with Konate as well, it's hard to put an issue on. It's hard to put your finger on the Konate situation because we don't know what he's asking for. Konate already rubbished off the reports linking him to asking for a certain amount of money, and that was 200. I think it was £200,000 was the reported fee, and then Konate sort of like brushed that off himself. But since then, we've not really heard any certain numbers flying around for what Konate is asking for. But what we do know is that Konate and Liverpool are not agreeing on the contract. That's the issue. So we are in a big dilemma right now. Do we keep Konate and allow him to go to for free next summer to what probably will be Real Madrid if we're honest with ourselves? Do you want that to happen again? I certainly don't. The Trent thing should never happen again, and a Konate situation could be the same thing. But do we also sell him now when we've already got rid of Joao Kwanzaa and we need an already centre back or as it is? That's the issue we've got. We don't want too much change going on, especially to the first team. And with Konate, I think is an absolute important, vital player to keep at Liverpool. It really is. talking about Virgil van Dijk, we don't know whether he's going to retire or move on from Liverpool in 2 years' time. Obviously, his contract extension was 2 years. What's going to happen in 2 years, we don't know with Virgil van Dijk. But what I want to happen is Konate to be the guy that there if Van Dijk is to leave at some point. Konate needs to be there. Konate is the one that not take over Van Dijk as such, but he's the one that could be the guy who can build around in terms of that defense for me. And again, I'm going to go on to Konate first of all, foremost. The ones, the reports that came out about Konate. According to Diarra, AS Diarra, which is a Spanish outlet, Konate is a top shortlist for Real Madrid as they set their eyes on a free transfer in 2026. A summer move is not ruled out, but won't bid more than 17 to 21 million. Real Madrid, if you think you're getting Ibrahima Konate this summer for 17 to 21 million, you are having a laugh. You are not going anywhere near Ibrahima Konate with a £17 million to £21 million bid. Not a chance. Not a chance on this earth that would be happening. I'm just going to go through a couple of comments here. Good evening, Shay. And Shay, what I want to do for you, Shay, as well, is thank you, because I saw you put in a super chat. Was 2 nights ago, wasn't it? Thursday night, you put in a super chat. But I'd already pressed end stream when I saw it come up, and I brought it up after the stream. So thank you so much, Shay. And I hope you are well tonight. I hope everyone's doing okay at home as well. You good, Jen? I can't believe the lads are trying to flee as we're trying to retain the title, says Shay. We could be looking at losing a lot of last season's first teamers. For me, it makes no sense to have so many people leave, especially first teamers, not when you've just won the title. You want to keep as much as you can. I think, obviously, Nunez going is I think everyone accepted that, if I'm honest. Regarding Diaz, though, I don't think there's not many out there that really want Diaz to go. I think it's quite consistent on the board regarding Diaz. I think it's, if he goes, we've got to replace him. Happy with that. But if he stays, I'm happy with that. He's a very, very good option. He's one of the best wingers in the world, really. If we're talking about honest truths with that, he's one of the best wingers in the world. So there's not many better out there than him, but we do want him to do better at the same time. His levels are up here, but he needs to keep those levels as much as he can. Jen says Virgil will stay on if he's still playing well. I hope so. That is the plan, I think, with Virgil. I'll say 2 years, the age that he's coming to now. I think the plan is to keep him on as much as we can. And if he continues to be at that level, or even like just a level underneath Virgil, I think he's good enough to stay, because Virgil's level's just ridiculous. It's out of this world level. 100 we get Guehi. He has leadership qualities and permanent experience, says Shea, to be solid in our squad. And I thought that the perfect solution to the defense is to keep Konate and hopefully bring Marc Guehi in to be a challenger or be competition, but then eventually slot into Virgil's position at some point as well. And Nunez is fair, but Diaz and Konate has surprised me, especially after Trent and winning the Premier League. I mean, I can't understand why. I sort of can understand Diaz's situation, because he was, from what everyone knows, that he's on a poor contract. But I think it was Paul Gorse that reported last week that his contract's actually 140 grand. I think, but I've not seen anyone else back that up. From what I know, Diaz on is quite a poor contract. However, again, if you're Diaz and you're wanting a new contract at Liverpool and they're not willing to give you a new contract and you run out in 2 years, then you've got to understand, he might want to leave. And I've always been the same about this. If players want to leave, then fair enough. It's about the way you go about it. And I'm the exact same with Trent Alexander-Arnold. And the people out there, Trent's got to stay forever. He's a Scouse, as a Liverpool fan. We've gone over this many, many times. He's got to stay no matter what. But I was always consistent with it. I always say, look, if he wants to go and try a new challenge, then fair enough. It's a short career. It's a short career, his footballing career. He might want new challenges. I'm old enough and wise enough to understand that. But it's the way he went about it that wasn't accepted. And it did do Liverpool dirty at the time. And again, with Diaz's situation, it seems with the reports over the last few weeks, he's not doing it the correct way. Forcing the transfer and things like that. If he wants to go, then I'll be honest. I'm like, look, if you want to go, go. If you want to try a new challenge, or if you don't feel like the club's offering you enough, go. If you don't feel like you're going to be staying here for the next few years, then absolutely go. But yeah, regarding Ibrahima Konate, it's a situation we've brought upon ourselves again. It's another contract that we've allowed to go to us the last year of its contract. Just like Trent, just like Salah, just like Van Dijk. Luckily, with Salah and Van Dijk, they stayed on anyway. But with Trent, we give him that option to leave for free, and he took it. That's what we did. We did this ourselves. We got into this situation, and it's the exact same with Ibrahima Konate. We got into the situation again where it's 1 year left on his deal, and we're now negotiating the new deal with 1 year left. This shouldn't be happening. Deals for players should be looked at least 2 years prior to them leaving. Like Diaz is now, really. Like the situation with Diaz is now. He's got 2 years left on his deal. If you're not signing, you either go in or replace you, or you can, it's your own fault if you want to stay here for another 2 years being backup. We need to start sorting these contract situations out because it's happening too many times. We've let too many players go for free. Firmino was one, and that is down to Liverpool in the end of the day. And it's not Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. No, definitely not. These two have proven enough to me, and I've said this all the time. They've always proven enough to me that they can do things and they can do good jobs if they're allowed to do good jobs. And FSG let go the strings a little bit this season. They've allowed the contracts to happen with Virgil and Salah. They've allowed a little bit more spending in transfer window without selling at the moment. Obviously, Wirtz, Frimpong and Kirkes coming in. And they've allowed that to happen, which is brilliant. Edwards and Hughes can sort these situations out, but these situations have come around because we messed around with the backroom staff for a few years. We give power, we give too much power to Klopp. We brought Josh Mack in, and the contracts have gone out of the window, and that's a big issue. This shouldn't have happened, but we've only got ourselves to blame for that. But I'm absolutely certain that Edwards and Hughes are the right people to sort it out now. If anything's going to happen between Diaz, Konate, Nunez, or whatever, I think they're in the right hands to get it sorted, whether they go or stay. Why are we letting these contracts run out? I love purchases. We buy good quality players, but reasonable prices. But we manage contracts is questionable. I mean, it's happening too many times, Shay, I think it's happening way too many times. Please smash the likes, people. Help the channel and community grow. Thank you so much, Shay. And like she just said there, hit that like button if you want to keep up on Liverpool news and Liverpool content in general and football content in general. We're going to do much, much more on this channel. We've got big plans for it. We're just you guys at home to help us to hit that like button, to subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would help us out massively. Thank you, everyone, for that. That is doing that already. Even if we get Isaac, Rodrigo, and one of the two centre backs, then we have to rely on all gel quickly. Yes, the players brought in our top quality, so you hope it should be back to back, maybe a challenge. And that's the issue, isn't it? When so many brand new players come in, it needs time to gel. And I'm absolute proof of that. Last night I played my first preseason. I'm a manager / player for a team at Grassroots, and I played last night with a pre-season game, and we had a lot of influx of new players. I still getting to know people's names and stuff. Obviously, at the level that they're playing in Liverpool, everyone knows everyone's names anyway. But you need time to gel. You need time to get into it and feel each other's games and things like that. So that's what I'm saying. Too many changes in that first team can prove to be difficult in the end for Liverpool. As to what happened with Trent, we have to learn from our errors. With Konate and Diaz. Also respect the club for the retirement of the number 20 shirt. And my heart went to his wife, Anne, who has at Anfield. Absolutely, Jen. That is a brilliant thing for Liverpool to do, to retire the number 20. I think everyone thought it was going to happen. And yes, they did the absolute right thing to retire that number 20 and leave that unused now forever. I think it's fantastic for that. And, our hearts will always be with the family and the friends of Diogo Jota, always. And rightly so. And I think I'm so happy to see them retire that number 20. And it's the right thing to do for me. Smash those likes, says Jen. He can play in the under-21s if he wants to play at all. I mean, that's the issue. I think that was the issue with Trent as well. I said, look, if we knew about Trent wanting to leave, then what we should have done is given the ultimatum. You either leave this summer or you're not playing this season. And I think we did know about it. And we definitely know about Konate now. And we definitely know about Diaz now. It's up to us now to take control of that situation. We had no control of that Trent situation at all. Thanks to ourselves, though. Thanks to ourselves. All we have to do is take control ourselves. All we have to do is say to Trent, look, if you want him to go for free, that's not happening. You either get sold this summer, you can either force Real Madrid to pay for you, or you're not playing for the season. We'll play badly instead. That's what needs to happen. We can't let players control the situations. Last year felt like Trent now looking back in hindsight, last year felt like Trent was on loan to us from Real Madrid. That's what it felt like. Road to 1K, says Shay. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shay. Yes, Road to 1K is certainly the agenda for this channel. I think, it's been a tough start to the channel, also starting from scratch and nothing, building up to this nearly 800 subs now is incredible. And I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you guys at home. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be enjoying this if it weren't for you guys at home. You guys keep me going, definitely on this channel. Player managers are the best. I enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. It was interesting because I played the first half. So playing the game is completely different to being managing the game from the side. Managing from the pitch to managing the silence is completely different. So I played the first 45 and came off the second 45. Sort of like 11 players per 45. So it was interesting for both halves, if I'm honest. Konate has been underbelly uneasiness for a while. I feel mixed emotions about the game tomorrow. It's going to feel strange watching lads again, but I hope they can do it for him. I think tomorrow, the results don't matter in friendlies anyway, but I think tomorrow is certainly about the occasion more than the game itself. I think I'm absolutely certain that the club will put on the right things for the tribute of Jota. Certainly, I'm absolutely certain of it. And I'm looking forward to them playing, but football doesn't really matter in that game for me at all. I think we will be the main challenge to stop PSG going back-to-back on the Champions League. Our squad depth, even if the wholesale changes, will be deep, and who Slot relies on will take to the field. Yeah, Slot has certainly a big impact on what happens this season. I think PSG are the team to beat out there. I think PSG are certainly the team to beat, the team to everyone to look at in Europe and say, that's the team. That's the team. I think regarding PSG, I think Slot's looks at them and think that's what I want. I think that's what I'm sure I said something about PSG before and that he admires them. And I think he looks at PSG and think, yeah, that's the kind of scintillating attack I want. That's why he's trying to look at different options that play different players, play different ways. And that's why I think he's actually number one in terms of striker. And we're looking at that sort of player. I think we want to have the best attack and probably the best team in Europe. That's the idea in football anyway. For a club like Liverpool, we want to be the best in Europe. And right now, the best in Europe is PSG. And we've got to look at that and say that's the standard. We've got to get there or overcome that. Let's get into there. They beat Madrid. They absolutely battered Madrid the other night. Absolutely battered Madrid the other night. There should be a YouTube channel of dads watching their children play football. Absolute quality entertainment. Yeah, dads can get a bit mad on the sidelines of grassroots football. It is grassroots football. You can't beat it. That's why I love playing it, because you can't beat it. The tension. Even last night, a friendly, first preseason friendly of the game, and they had someone kicking off on the pitch, like kicking off out of a friendly. It's just absolutely ridiculous. You're always guaranteed drama at a grassroots game. Should we go on to, obviously, the Diaz news that has been bubbling up as well? Obviously, there was a report last week about Diaz potentially handing a transfer request. Diaz is open to leave Liverpool, but Liverpool are blocking any approaches so far, according to Florian Plettenberg. Bayern Munich are the side that want Diaz. I think Barcelona are still slightly interested in Diaz, but the interest is sort of ease off a little bit. It's the finances within it, Barcelona. It's always going to be like that. Luis Diaz has told Liverpool that he wants to join Bayern Munich on spot build. So it is mainly coming out of Germany regarding Diaz in terms of Bayern Munich specifically. And I think personally, I think Diaz does want to go. It's been bubbling up for quite a while. It's been bubbling up for at least a year now. We had reports of his dad saying like he wants to go to Barcelona. We've had the Barcelona links for him for at least a year now. And I get it. Look, players want to go elsewhere and try new challenges. And again, if the wages aren't good at Liverpool, then he has every single right to want to leave. But like I said earlier, it's how you handle the situation. Do you hand a transfer request in right now? No, for me. And if he wants to leave there, you can speak about it. It's a bit like Isak at Newcastle. I think Isak will probably. I'm not saying like I know this. I think Isak deep down might want to leave Newcastle, but he's got to do it in a respectful way. That's the situation. He's got to do it in a respectful way and ensure that is leaving on the right note. And that's what I think Diaz should be doing. If he wants to go, then fair enough, but do it in the right way. Don't force out. Don't say anything publicly, like the video that he did the other day. Don't do anything like that. You've got to do it respectfully. This is a club that we absolutely love our players. You've seen that. We adore our players. So you've got to treat us the way we treat you. We absolutely adore players like Luis Diaz, and we've adored him ever since he's come here. So please, if you do want to leave, do it respectfully. Not even just for the club, do it for the fans. Do it respectfully for the fans. And I think with regarding Diaz, though, because Liverpool are blocking any approaches right now, the key word is right now. They're not blocking approaches completely. What they're blocking the approaches of is the bids or the money that's being thrown around by Bayern Munich or someone else that's coming in for. Because right now, according to a report yesterday that it was 52 million euros for Diaz had been made for Bayern Munich. That is not enough for Luis Diaz. And I think we should be at least getting I'd say 55, 60 million pounds for Diaz. So 52 million euros is 44.8 million, I want to say, 45.8 million pounds. That was the offer that was being reported for Luis Diaz from Bayern Munich. But regarding Diaz, I'd expect at least 55, 60 million pounds for me. And I think Liverpool might open the door to let him go. Because like I said, we don't want to keep people here. We don't want to keep players here that don't want to be here. But at the same time, we've got to make sure we get the value for the money that is being offered. Diaz is no mug. Diaz is not, a 50 million pound player. When you see Madueke, for example, going for 50 million pounds, you think we're going to accept less for Luis Diaz? The 2 years left on his contract? Not a chance. And by the way, regarding Madueke, I want to speak to Hugs about this. Regarding Madueke, I know Hugs don't like this move. I know he doesn't like this move. But I feel quite bad for Madueke specifically because I don't think it's a bad move if he wasn't 50 million pounds. I think the 50. This is why I don't look at prices of players when they come to your club. Like I think that price can weigh heavy on a player. It can look bad on a player. The players don't ask for that price. That price is put onto them by clubs that are paying for it, or the sellers. The seller put a price on, but then it's up to the club to pay for it. Madueke at 50 million is not a 50 million pound player, but it's not his fault that he's not a 50 million pound player. I think it'd be a good sign if he went for like 20 million, for example. I'll get onto Hooks about that, by the way. And Shay, if you are joining Hooks anytime soon into his chat, let him know we've got a catch up to have about Madueke. Just let him know he's got to come on here for a catch up because I know he's been in the US, so I know he's come back now. I think he's come back from the US, but yeah, we are due a big catch up, myself and Hooks, regarding that. Diaz should know better. Exactly, Jen. I think it should be. Arsenal Van Beek are traumatized by Chelsea transfers. They have every right to be traumatized about it as well because I saw a video of Turkish earlier saying that the conspiracy about Arsenal owners and Chelsea owners, because they're both American, they do things dealing, especially Chelsea, they try to do things loopholes. They find loopholes how to get around things, and it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal and Chelsea owners were sort of doing that sort of thing to help each other out. I don't think it is happening, but it wouldn't surprise me with the way football is right now and how business minded it is and how shady it is. I mean, we've seen yesterday. Was it yesterday with the Crystal Palace situation? Yeah, regarding Crystal Palace, I don't agree with that one bit whatsoever. They should be allowed to play in that Europa League. I think is an absolute joke, is that Crystal Palace situation. So, yeah, I think the football's ran wrongly, so it wouldn't surprise me if something like that happens. Yeah, please do, Shay. Let him know completely, yeah. I don't know when he's back. He didn't really tell me when he's back. I know he said he went to US, and he messaged me the other day, actually. He was in US still. I don't know when he's back. I thought he might went for a week or something like that. But, yeah, I know when he is back, we are due certainly a chat about certain players, about Madueke, certainly about Madueke. I did warn him on Twitter. If anyone follows us on Twitter, myself and Hooks, I did warn him on Twitter that Madueke, here we go soon. And that's a few hours later, we saw Madueke Huugo soon just to cheer him up a little bit. But yeah, we'll get back on track, get back onto Liverpool, and I'll talk a little bit about Darwin Nunez. So we've been going over Darwin Nunez for the last month. Is he going? Is he not going? It looks like he probably will go. But this is the big but. Liverpool's asking price. We've been speaking about this for at least a month about the asking price. Liverpool's asking price of Darwin Nunez is too high. It's too high. And Napoli now are, according to reports, pulling out of that deal because of that asking price. And this is a big, big issue for me because I think there's not many people in the fan base that honestly that still wants Nunez here. And that's not being harsh at all. What it is being realistic. We've seen enough. He's had 3 years at this club and we can't keep him another season for me. We can't. Can he work somewhere else? I've always said about him, I think he can work somewhere else. I think he's got ability, but what he hasn't got is mindset. And in this league, you've got to have the elite mindset to follow the ability. I think he's got built in certain parts, but I think he'll smash, say, Serie A at Napoli. I think he'll do well there. I think he'll do well. Maybe he couldn't even do well at the Premier League at certain clubs, but at Liverpool, just simply ain't good enough. And we've got to let him go for me. We've got to let him go. And this whole overpricing him, I don't like it. I don't like it. We don't need to overprice players. Let them go. And we've done it for a few years. The overpricing players. We overpriced Origi out of a move a year earlier than when he went. We always thought Origi was sensational. He was like a clutch player at times, but really, looking back, he wasn't Liverpool good. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? I don't want to diss Origi here because Origi was sensational and he gave some sensational times, but it wasn't ever that level that we need at Liverpool. So we overpriced him out of a move a year earlier than when he went, and we do this. We've done the same thing all the time. This is why Klopp at times kept same teams because we're overpricing players out of moves. For me, and we're saying, "Oh, Klopp was too loyal. Klopp was too loyal." Is Klopp's loyalty making Nunez stay another season if he stays? It's nothing to do with Klopp. It's overpricing players. And what that is in the past, we've relied so much on our sales to bring players in. We're overpricing players, so we get that money back for the sales. If we, for example, put, say 3 years ago, say we put £30 million on Origi, and we need to replace him for a £30 million player, we're not going to sell him for £10 million. We're not going to sell him for £15 million because we rely on that sale to get another transfer. But this summer does seem also different because we've bought Verts, bought Frimpong, we've bought Kirk. We're not fully relying on those sales. But I still think we're still relying on those sales to bring most of it back. And with Nunez, I've always been said the same about Nunez. Nunez is going to be our sale this summer. If he does go, it's going to be our biggest sale this summer. So we're going to try get as much money as we can out of him. But then we're asking other clubs like Bournemouth, for example, and we're asking Crystal Palace to put their money down for Guehi. It's hypocritical. That's what it is, because we can't tell everyone else to put their money down. We're not moving on ours. At some point, someone's going to have to budge on the Darwin Nunez thing. It looks like Napoli have pulled out. Maybe Napoli pulling out, though. That was according to Sky Sports via Napoli Hub, which is an Italian... I think it's an Italian podcast actually in Napoli talking about about deciding to abandon the operation of Darwin Nunez because of the excessively high costs involved. That's the word, excessively high cost, not just high cost. Excessively high cost is the word that's been used. And I think at some point, if we want Darwin Nunez to go, unless like a Saudi club comes in and pays for it, like I think Al Nassr was linked to him, but we can't just rely on Saudi clubs to come in. We can't rely on that. If we want Darwin Nunez to leave, we've got to if someone ain't going to willing to pay that money, £55 million or whatever we're asking for, we've got to budge on it. We've got to do it. If we don't want him here, we've got to do it. Or we're keeping a player that we're clearly wanted out. Slot clearly doesn't want him here. What we're keeping him for? You know what? The only way we keep Nunez, and it's acceptable to keep Nunez, if literally we can't buy anyone else. For me. If there's an option to buy someone else, then we've got to get rid of Nunez. Welcome, Talking Reds. Please smash the likes on the way. And said, Shay, thank you so much, Shay. Yeah, please hit the likes if you are joining us. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel as well if you are new for all your latest Liverpool news and transfer news. And we also do much, much more on this channel as well. Konate and money for Rodrigo, then bring in Guehi. I think if Konate goes, though, Fireburn, I think if Konate goes, I think that'd be a good thing to do. Konate money for Rodrigo. If Diaz goes well, Rodrigo will be a brilliant replacement for Diaz and be in the front line completely. I think Konate, if Konate goes, I think Guehi has to come in, but another centre back as well. Because I think we already need a centre back now before Konate leaving. Quanta's already left. Looking forward to the pre-season as new faces in the team. Bacecic, Danz, Martin, Nayone, Villa will all be great to see how they fare as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the youngsters playing. Bacecic coming back. I'm intrigued to see what Bacecic is like when he comes back. Obviously, he had a poor loan spell with Salzburg, but he had a better loan spell with Las Palmas. I loved Bacecic before he left. I thought he was a very, very good player. People see him as 6. I see him as more of a box-to-box player. I think he offers too much going forward to be just sat as a 6. I think he's a bit like Gravenberch, is Bacecic, but he can play 6 and he can play 8. I think he's quite versatile. He's quite likable to Gravenberch, if anyone in our team. Regarding Danz, I'm looking forward to seeing Danz. It was a shame what happened to Danz last season with the injury to Sunderland. I thought it was a brilliant move if he played for Sunderland, but obviously went on loan to Sunderland and then got injured quickly. He missed out on the promotion with Sunderland. So it'd be interesting to see what Danz does this season. Morton, I expect Morton to leave anyway. Nayone, definitely a very, very talented player. Very talented player, Nayone. And Rio's on the verge of signing a new deal with the club. So that's certainly someone to look forward to with Rio. He's on the verge of signing a new deal with Liverpool, which is exciting. Plan to advance new talks with Rio Engenmoa. Talks ongoing for to a long-term contract to with Rio. So yeah, I'm excited for that one. Diaz to leave, Rodrigo in, said Fireburn. Sell Nunez for anything at this point. His head and heart isn't with us. I think it's hard one, really. I think his head and heart has been with us a lot. But I think towards the end of the season, he started failing away a little bit. I don't think he's been as vocal as Diaz, for example, wanting to leave. It's not been as clear that he wants to leave. But I think it's been more clear from the Liverpool side of things that they want to get rid of Nunez. It makes no sense in all, really. Nunez might want to stay, but Liverpool want to get rid of him. Diaz wants to go, Liverpool want to keep him. You know, it is. I'll always. Football's not that deep. I won't ever hate on players ever. And I said this about Trent. I'd never call him a rat, and I don't agree with people calling people rats. Football's not that deep. Human beings are human beings. And the hate that Nunez gets is absolutely undeserved. No one should ever get hate. But we've got to be honest about his ability. Is he good enough for Liverpool Football Club? No. Could he ever be good enough? He's had 3 years to prove it. And the issue is now people are willing to pay the money that we're asking for. And if we do want to get rid of him, which seems like that's what we wanted to do, a month ago, 2 months ago, you know, when the season was still going, there were reports about wanting to get rid of Nunez in the summer. It was a few reports as well, not just one. So it's quite clear Liverpool want to get rid of him, but it's up to us now to budge on that price of him. Great point, Jumper. I said about what did Jumper say? Let's get Jumpers up there. I want us to take Rodrigo and absolutely smash it for us and haunt them if we play them destroy Trent's side. That would be very, very interesting, wouldn't it? If we got Rodrigo against Trent would be sensational viewing. And I still think Trent can defend, by the way. I still think Trent can defend. It's not as good as many players defending, but he can defend. I think that's a myth. I hope Slot does the same, says Shay. Chelsea look like they're going to be trouble this season. I think regarding this season, though, I think Chelsea do buy well. João Pedro is a sensational signing for Chelsea, by the way. The 2 goals scored the other night, unreal. And I think João Pedro and Liam Delap as striking options is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Chelsea. I think Chelsea has the foundations there to be good. Their midfield sensational, Chelsea's. Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Cole Palmer. Unreal. We've seen how good, Caicedo for me was being very underrated this season. He wasn't even in like the player nominations for the Player of the Years and things like that. Like I said, I don't know why. I think it's just English bias, probably with Cole Palmer. I thought he had a better season than Cole Palmer. Caicedo. If you watch the football and watch all the games and watch his teams properly, put bias aside, Caicedo had a better season than Cole Palmer. But Cole Palmer, I think when he does play well, he stands out massively, doesn't he? Because he's sensational. But regarding the season, I think Caicedo's been as best as anyone at Chelsea. Graven needs rest. Gravenberch needs rest. We can't play him every competition. I mean, that's for me why Shea. Sorry, no, I said Trey there, so I'm thinking Trey and Ione. Sorry, Shea. That's why I think we need to bring in another player. For me, I know Bajcetic is coming back, but I need to see Bajcetic in pre-season. I need to see if he's up for it. We need a player that can either rotate with Gravenberch or push him forward. Because Gravenberch, again, people forget this, is not a natural 6. Yes, he's been sensational, especially the first half of the season, dropped off massive second half of the season, but he's not a natural 6. He's even said in an interview himself is an 8. We talked about 6 and 8. He said, I've enjoyed playing 6, but I'm still an 8. That is something that needs to be looked at some point. But I'm happy to wait another year for that because we've got so many deals going on this time. We've got the Konate situation, Diaz, Nunez, other players to leave as well, potentially. Looking to bring in a striker, looking to bring in a winger, potentially. Looking to bring in a centre-back. I don't like usually waiting, but I can wait for that. Especially Bajcecic's coming back as well, and Endo's there anyway. I think I can wait slightly for that. Palmer is good, though his GA is high. Yeah, Palmer is one of the best players in the league. Absolutely. He's one of the most talented players in the league. He's probably right now, in terms of form over the last 2 years, probably the best English player out there, Cole Palmer, including Bellingham, including Foden. Over the last 2 years, he's been the best English player out there. However, this season, for Chelsea, I think Caicedo's been better. And that I think foundations are there for Chelsea. Like Shea said earlier, Chelsea got a very good thing going on. I think the foundation's there to build something very, very special at Chelsea. And I think Man City are building something good as well. So Arsenal, I think, be there and thereabouts. It'll be very, very interesting this season for that title anyway. Our targets are clear. Rodrigo, Isaac, Ekitke, Guehi. Currently, Newcastle are heavily linked to Ekitke, but we're not moving for Ekitke. Why? I think Fireburn, the thing is with Ekitke. In fact, you want to go? I'll go on to that. So I'm going to go on to Konate slightly, but regarding that Ekitke thing, also the reports about Isaac and Ekitke. I was going to get onto the Ekitke. Newcastle are hoping to finally land striker Huugo Ekitke contra Luke Edwards at Telegraph. And then there was also a report saying, Luke Edwards also said then that they want to play him alongside Alexander Isaac rather than replacing him. So contra Luke Edwards, who's I think is like a northern correspondent for the Telegraph, quite high up, obviously with Tyneside and things like that. So he has very, very good connections up there. So it's really reliable, in other words. According to him, that Ekitke has not only been brought into Newcastle as a signing, he's been brought in to play alongside Isaac. That's the plan for Ekitke rather than replacing him. Also, he's going to replace Callum Wilson, and Callum Wilson's probably going to go. So I think that's what's going to happen with that. But regarding your comment there, Fabian, let's bring it back up again. Our targets are clear, obviously, but we're not moving for Ekitke. Why? Ekitke is in the ideas, but what we are waiting for is if there's a green light for Isaac. Isaac is our number one target regarding that striking position. If that door opens just slightly, just even that bit for Isaac, we're going to push it. That's what's going to happen. If we can see any green light whatsoever, even if it's light green, if it's the lightest of greens with transparency of 1, you can just about see it. Liverpool will go for that. That's what I think we'll do. I think we'll try go get him if that is the case. If that never comes about, if Isaac never comes about, and I think that's what we're waiting for the conversation between Newcastle and Isaac to happen. And if Isaac tells them, look, I might want to go, and if there's a green light given to Liverpool, then I think they'll do it. If that doesn't come about, and Ekitke is still there and is still available, I think we do go for Ekitke. And I think Ekitke is number 2 because of the profile of player. It's quite similar to Isak is certainly not on Isak's level. Isak's the best out there for me. But Ekitke, the way he plays, is quite similar to Isak because he can link up as well as score goals. But I think obviously Isak is number one, and I wouldn't be happy with Ekitke as the only person to come in. I think he's too young, and it's more potential with Ekitke. He's got lots of potential. I think he's a good player, but I don't want to have a striker that's got lots of potential at the moment, unless he comes in with someone else. David, do you rate Rodrigo? His data isn't good. Oh, Rodrigo's sensational. Regarding data and stats, I think data and stats can really look bad on players when they don't need to look bad on players. If you go back into 2000s and look at the stats of Zinedine Zidane, he probably don't have the best stats in terms of goals, GA, and things like that. He doesn't have the best stats. Watch the game, and you'll see he's a very good player. Regarding Rodrigo, I think he's a very, very good player in the right team, in the right system, with the right manager. He's got the abilities there, and there's a few players like that in over Europe. A lot of people don't like Rafa Leao, but I really do like Rafa Leao. I think Rafa Leao has bags of ability, but what I think he needs doing is coaching properly. I think his decision making is poor at times, but that comes down to a lot of coaching. It's about how you get the best out of them. And I think Rafa Leao is a player like that, quite a bit like Jeremy Doku. I think Jeremy Doku has bags. I mean, look how easy Jeremy Doku gets past players. He's not the best wing. He's not one of the best wingers in the world, but look how easy he gets past players. He's got the skills, got the abilities, but it's what he does after getting past the player. That's what he does after it. That's down to coaching a little bit. I think it's time to coaching time and himself to want to improve himself. That's a bit similar to Rafa Leao and a bit similar to Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo can be coached right. If he's coached right, I think he'd be unreal. I think he's got bags of ability. The lad can shoot. The lad can run at players. And I think if Diaz is to go, I think Rodrigo would be. There's a reason why everyone wants him. They don't want him because they don't need him. Do you think Isak will fit a 4-3-3? I think Fireburn. We did a stream on it like a month ago. Was it 3 weeks ago? We did that stream with the tactics. We spoke about tactics, and I think this season, Arneslot's trying to play different ways. I think also he'll have his 4-2-3-1. I think 4-2-3-1 will be the system. It'll be obviously Gravenberch and McAllister, whoever in the midfield. Wirtz at 10, Gakpo, Salah, and a striker. That's what's going to happen this season. Isak will absolutely fit that. Ekitke will fit that 4-2-3-1. But then I think there's going to be times where you'll see formation changes. I think there's going to be games where you'll see formation changes. If we get a Guehi, if we keep Konate, I think we might see 3-5, like a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2 at some point. Mainly 3-4-3, I think. It'd be like 3, and then the wingers obviously being, I think wingers would be like Kerkez and Frimpong, and then you'll have like Wirtz and Salah behind the striker. I think you'll see different formations this season, and I think we're trying to buy players that can allow that to happen. That's why I think Frimpong's a good signing, because Frimpong can play right wing, he can play right wing back, he can play right back. He gives us different options of way of playing. Again, with Kerkez, it's quite similar to Frimpong. Better defensively than Frimpong, but I certainly think he's much more attacking minded. Allows to play different ways. Wirtz can play cam, can play left wing, he probably play false 9 if he can. He's got the ability to. But I think it'd be interesting to see. I'm interested to see what Arneslot has in store this season. We're going to see tactical masterclasses constantly from Arneslot. You've seen how he likes to change it around. I think I'll do that a little bit more this season with more of his players involved. I feel more comfortable if we bring a centre back soon. I hope it's Guehi that can play. Then we could play the delay game for a bit, waiting for Isak. I think Guehi. I think Guehi would probably be the one that does come in next. If anyone needs to come in next, if we are going to get Here We Go in next 3 weeks, I think it would be Guehi, if anyone. Guehi and Isak are the priorities for me to share to bring to me Ekitke and Rodrigo bonuses. I think Rodrigo will be brilliant. I really do think that. Isak or Ekitke won't be happy playing second fiddle to each other. I don't know about Ekitke being second fiddle. It depends who it's would he be happy with second fiddle at Newcastle? I don't know. Would he be happy at second fiddle as at what is it? at Liverpool, it's a different scenario. Would you rather be on the bench at Liverpool or Newcastle? And for me, I've always said the same. If you come to Liverpool, you're not here to be on the bench for me. You're here to be competition. You're here to give the team and the players in the first team to push them, take their place off them. That's what you're here to be Liverpool at. That's what Diaz did to Mane. That's what you should be doing. You should be coming to Liverpool with the mindset of, I want to be first team. I don't want to be backup. Diaz, I'm coming. Gakpo, I'm coming for your left wing spot. Nunez, I'm coming for your striker spot. Obviously, Salah, Van Dijk, and probably and Alisson Becker. Probably 2-3 players are you looking at? Not a chance. But even like Mamardashvili coming in. Look at him. He wants that number one spot. Alisson Becker is light years ahead of him now. He's sensational keeper, Mamardashvili. But he's coming in with the right attitude. He's coming in saying, I want that number one spot. And that's how you improve. That's why you improve as a player. You don't just come in and say, I'm happy to be Alisson's backup. Why do you think Kelleher's leaving? Because he don't want to be backup. But I think Mamardashvili backs himself and says, look, I can push myself here. And that's what we need. We need hungry players at Liverpool. We need players that want to do better and want to be better. And I think that's exactly what we're doing this summer from what we're seeing. Kirkes, Frimpong, Wirtz, all 3 players that want to be better and want to do better and want to get better themselves. Tomorrow we witness world's greatest number 10 in Liverpool red tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, Florian Wirtz is set to make his debut tomorrow. Yes, certainly is. Still no exact contact gives me hope that we asked for us. And Newcastle have probably said Liverpool will need to meet our asking price. If you want to go, make it hard, and then should, to be fair. And I think regarding Isaac, like I said, I think my personal opinion, this is not anything I've read. I think he probably may want to go, but he's got to do it respectfully. And is he really going to force it? I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Ekitke thing, because also the report there says that Ekitke is coming in to play alongside him. But are they ready to for a little bit? Are they ready themselves for a little bit? That's the issue. Should we go on to Konate before we've got 10 more minutes of the stream? So I want to go on to Ibrahima Konate slightly quickly. Ibrahima Konate is not ruled out leaving Liverpool this summer, according to Marc, as long as he can join Real Madrid. But like we said earlier, Real Madrid are only willing to pay 17 to 24 million pounds this summer if they're to get Konate. I think they're waiting next summer for him to go for free. And they can swivel on that. They can absolutely swivel on that. But looking at defence as well was Marc Guehi. David Lynch says that as of last week, Liverpool made no firm approach for Guehi, with contact limited to the defenders' representatives to sell the move. It remains whether Palace will be sent into a deal Liverpool feel reasonable. So Guehi was number one choice, obviously, for centre-back. But again, we're unable to agree on the fee that Palace was put on in. I think it was £45 million was the reported fee. And Liverpool are unwilling to pay that at the moment. It's going to go on a long time. It's still lots left the transfer window, guys. That's one thing I will say. Look, there's at least 2 months left. Well, just under 2 months left of the transfer window. It ends on September the 1st. We do really want to get our transfers done earlier as much as we can. I think also everything put on hold at the moment, and rightly so. But I think we'll probably see the movements maybe in a couple of weeks or something like that. I think we'll give it time, and pre-season's coming up as well. I think every club wants their players in for pre-season. Every manager wants their players in for pre-season. But I think I'm being very, very patient at the moment. You've got to be patient at the moment. You've got to be absolutely patient at the moment. I'm not worried about it one bit. And I usually do worry about in transfer windows and things like that. But we've bought 3 brilliant players in already. I think Guehi is probably next on the list if anyone's to come in. Isaac, I think we're looking at him. I think we're waiting for him. And if that green light is given, I think Liverpool move for him. And regarding that, regarding other players coming in, I think it will rely a lot on sales. If we need a left winger, that depends if Diaz goes. If we need a striker, that depends on Nunez going. I think we'll see in a couple of weeks more movement in transfers. But we have got a pre-season game tomorrow against Preston. I'm excited to see them play, but like I said, the occasion matters more than the game itself. So yeah, it would be It is nice to see them back, which is fantastic. But like I said, occasion matters absolutely more. Regarding Isaac, though, there was a report earlier from Georgi Picon, I think his name is, who is a journalist. I think he's an independent journalist from what I know. So Isaac is Liverpool's number one option. Liverpool will negotiate with Newcastle for a price, including a player in the deal, according to him. So, like I said, I think the Isaac situation, it all looks like a domino effect, really, innit? Whatever happens at Ekitke might affect what happens with Isaac. Whatever happens with Konate might affect what happens with Guehi. Obviously, if Konate goes, I think the Guehi thing will be rushed a little bit more. I think it'll be sped up a little bit. But with Konate staying, I think we'll look at Guehi. We've got to look at another player like that, a Guehi. I think if Konate stays, then it's not as rushed as much, if that makes sense. Regarding left wing, Rodrigo, players like that, Malik Fofana, obviously of interest as well. Players like that will again look, depending on the future of Luis Diaz. I think over the next couple of weeks will be very, very interesting to see what Liverpool do in pre-season. Obviously, the pre-season matches are coming up now. It'd be interesting to see if Luis Diaz does really push that move, if Bayern Munich come in for the money. And it all depends on the buyers as well. On the buyers, if Napoli pay the money for Nunez, then they'll get him. But it looks like Napoli have pulled out. If Liverpool pay the money for Guehi, they'll get him. If Bayern Munich or someone else pays up the money for Luis Diaz, they'll get him. So it's going to be an interesting few weeks. It's going to be an interesting few weeks. And one thing I want to just address before we do go as well is the fact that Keir Starmer has turned down the Hillsborough law, which is absolutely an absolute joke, if I'm honest. The fight, and one thing I will say to these people that are fighting for Hillsborough and the Hillsborough law, never give in. Never give up on this. You have fought for too long, and you fought a hard fight to make this Hillsborough law go into place. Although he has put it away at the moment, do not give up on it. It is so important that this Hillsborough law gets put into place. It absolutely is. That can never, ever happen again. Justice needs to be brought through first and foremost. Justice for the people. Justice for the lies and the corruption and the cover-ups they did. This cannot happen again. The Hillsborough law needs to be implemented into our government. It needs to be implemented into our country. We cannot allow lies and cover-ups like that happen again. We need proper investigations to happen. And that is what the Hillsborough law is, to prevent it happening again, to ensure families are supported properly if anything needs to happen. For Keir Starmer to U-turn on this is an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace. And he should be ashamed of himself. He said prior to joining, being the Prime Minister, that he said he was going to put the Hillsborough law into place. He said he would do. These have fought way too long for this. Way too long for this. They fought for the justice for their families, for their friends for a long, long time. Against lies, against the media, against the establishment in this country. And when you get the chance to put it in place, you turn your back on it. I'm angered at that. I'm absolutely angered at that. But I know for a fact the people behind the Justice for Justice for the 97, everyone behind that, they will keep pushing it. Everyone behind the Hillsborough law, everyone that's done what they can to make sure it's in place, they will keep pushing it. They won't give up. They're not giving up for years, decades on this. They fought for the justice, have got it. They got the truth out there after years of being told not to bother, after years being put down, after years being lied about, after their friends and family were lied about. They fought for the truth of that. And the truth is out there. If anyone doesn't know what happened at Hillsborough, go look it up and go look at the truth of what happened. Everyone knows the truth of what happened. And these people behind that will push and push and push. And I absolutely back them to the moon to push Keep pushing it, because the Hillsborough law needs to be in place. It absolutely does. And I'm absolutely disgusted at this Prime Minister and disgusted at this government for not putting it in place. It's things like this that really, really anger me. And I just don't understand where humanity goes. I really don't. I'm not going to get into politics on the stream. Obviously, people want to follow certain politicians. People want to vote for whatever they want to. But what I want is people that are in charge of countries, especially this country, my country, is to have the right morals, to have the right humanity, and to put things like this in place that are absolutely the correct thing to do. Absolutely the correct thing to do. Thank you everyone for watching tonight. I am angered by it. I'm absolutely angered by it, and I hope, and I know they will. I know they'll push to the very end. They won't give up on this, because it's got to be put in place. The right thing needs to happen in the end. Justice for all, says Jen. Absolutely justice for all. And I'm so glad the truth is out there, though, about it all. And it took a long time. It took decades for the truth to be there, because they were so lied about. And this is why I'm not a big fan of mainstream media. I can't stand it. It's all about lies and narratives, and I'm absolutely angered by it all. But yeah, I hope, and I know they won't give up. I know they won't give up. With the Hillsborough law, just keep pushing, and hopefully at some point it will be put in place. But yeah, thank you for watching tonight. I hope you are all doing okay. I hope you are doing well. We're also back now every night at 7 o'clock. Hopefully, transfers, latest news, things like that. We've got morning shows as well coming up. We've got a morning show on Monday morning with Stu. We've got Jake coming in as well, joining us. That's going to do a couple of morning shows as well. We've got a few new guests coming in as well next couple of weeks. So yeah, stay tuned to Talking Reds if you want to keep up to date with all Liverpool news, transfer news, and Liverpool content and football content in general. Keep up to date with Talking Reds. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Thank you for watching tonight, guys. Make sure you do have a good night, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow. I'll speak to you all tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Thank you for watching. Have a good night, guys.